what actually wrong, right? The same thing. So last week I did some analysis on GBPUSD and USD card. So, and the outcome was positive. Why? Because he predicted that the market was going to buy for previous week, which is last week, and it did what like we said. So for this week, we are going to be talking about what we are to expect uh for the new week, if the market is going to be bullish or the market is going to be bearish, right? So it does not mean that the whole thing is going to be 100% accurate, but we are just trying to like put ourselves in an edge where we know our bias or what to continue or the trend to continue following in the market. So this is GBP USD and this is our weekly chart, right? This is our weekly chart, and our weekly chart definitely shows that uh, the market has created somewhat like a sweep right around here. So let's mark out our weekly highs and weekly low. Right, the first thing we want to do is mark out our weekly highs and lows. Right, we want to mark out our weekly highs and lows. So last week ended as a bullish candle. So this is our previous week high, and we have our previous week low. Previous week low. So this is where we want to be working, all right, because we want to see the reasons why we want to follow the trend and which trend we have to follow for the week. So as you can see, this week ended as a kind of bullish candle, right? And last week ended as a bearish candle, right? So definitely you can see that there's a little bit of the sweep of liquidity or an inducement around this point, right? There's a sweep of liquidity around that point. So afterwards, we expect the market to continue buying, which the market actually did this previous week. Now, what's the next thing? We want to see what to expect. Now, for me, I'm to expect the market to continue buying, right? I'm expecting the market to continue buying at this point. So let's get down to the daily time frame and see how the previous day before the weekend ended. So you can see that at this point, this is the previous day high, and you can see this is the previous day low. This shows that the market is actually what bullish. The market is previously bullish. So now this is what we want to work with. We want to see what's going to happen all throughout the new week, right? So let's go down to 4 hours. We're doing a bit of top-down analysis. Can now make the chart a little bit smaller because we are marking out our highs and our lows, right? Which is what uh daily support and daily what resistance. So this is how the market ended last week, right? So simple. So what are we to expect in the market? We expect the market to continue what buying, right? I'm expecting the market to continue buying at this point to break above this high to create a continuous movement towards that zone, right? Then do this, then continue buying at that point, right? So we are expecting what a continuous buy in the market, right? The continuous buy in the market. I expect a reaction around this OB here, right? But because the market is overall bullish, right? Because the market is overall bullish, I expect the market to do what? Continue buying but sell for a short period of what time? For a short period of time and continue towards the buy side. Right. So my analysis for the new week is that we should be looking towards continuous buy of the market. Should look towards continuous buy of the market. So we want to continue buying the market at this point. So that is my bias for GBP USD. So let's head on to another pair, right? Another pair. So for euro, you can see I still have the same bias on euro. You can see weekly the euro shows us that it is a bullish trend, right? Previous bullish trend. So, but the candlestick that ended the previous high and previous low of same thing is this is what previous week high, and we have the previous week low. So this is the previous week high and the previous week low of last week. So we indeed we make analysis, and the analysis went on massively, right? Giving us a good movement towards the upside. We can make this one a little bit smaller. So let's head down to the daily time frame at this point. Right, this is the daily time frame, and in our daily time frame, yes, we have an indecision candlestick in between our daily time frame, right? An indecision candlestick in between our daily time frame, but it shows that it swept liquidity at this point. Right, there's a sweep of liquidity at a particular point here before the market came back to the zone. Right, we'll be seeing it in a smaller time frame. So I'm expecting a continuous buy in uh in for Euro USD. Right, you can see there is a sweep of liquidity or an inducement around that zone. Right, so right, so the only thing we need to just do is what wait for the market to do continue moving towards the bullish direction, right? Somewhat like this, then tap into the previous day and continue what buying. So I'm expecting a continuous what bullish trend in the Euro USD chart or market. So that's for Euro USD. So for the last so for the XAUUSD, which is gold. I'm looking towards continuous bullish trend, right? You can see the market has been bullish. We've caught a couple of movements in gold, right? But let's see what's going to happen this new week. I'm still expecting a bullish movement. So let's mark out what the previous day high and the previous week high, previous week high, and the previous week low. So I'm expecting a continuous movement to the upside. So let's go down to our daily time frame. You can see I have some couple of analysis there. All right. So now I gave this on my group. For those that are in my Telegram group, I gave this trade, and I also gave this trade, but took partial profit at this point because uh there was supposed to be a news, but unfortunately the news didn't come up. So the market continues moving towards our direction. So at this point, right, we still have to look towards buying the market. You can see in 4 hours, we still look towards the bullish trend in your daily time frame. You can see we still have a strong bullish candle moving towards the upside. So it's simple. We just need to look for reasons to continue what buying the market. So I'm expecting somewhat like a movement in this direction just to sweep this liquidity up here, right? Then come down towards this area, right, and move towards bullish direction. Let me go back to 1 hour, head on towards bullish direction. So I'm expecting somewhat like a sweep of this liquidity here, right, which is the equal highs rather, the sweep of this equal highs rather, then come back into our zone before it continues what buying. So our bias for gold is still what a bullish trend. So that'll be all for today. Until tomorrow or later today, where I'll be sending out signals in my Telegram group. You guys should be active for trades. So you guys should have a wonderful Sunday and see you guys for the new week. Goodbye.